Nebraska boys are going to the most expensive restaurant in Nebraska.
It's about to get fancy.
Nebraska is right in the middle of the United States.
Smack dab.
Seems like the public perception of Nebraska is like it's a bunch of cornfields.
They don't know that we have some bougie stuff. Like the most rich man in the world lives here.
Cha-ching.
Like we're like all very bougie.
There's this blog called lovefood.com, and they named 801 Chop House in Omaha, Nebraska as the most expensive restaurant in Nebraska.
Up, he's all dressed up. Fine dining.
In the state of Nebraska. This restaurant is located in downtown Omaha, and I knew we were in the right location because I saw a limousine.
Honey, get ready because we're in the ritzy area.
You know you have arrived because you opened the 801 doors. Right after walking in, I got a big whiff of meat.
Stacks, piles of raw beef hanging out around there.
There were so many portraits of cattle.
When you think about it in a certain light, that's so weird. Like putting all this art of this animal up and then we're all just eating it. Like they even had a golden statue of a bull, which is kind of a cow, right? Is that like a male cow?
It's a male cow, yeah.
So then a female cow is a cow? Oh, don't they say there's more cows here than humans?
Yeah, that's a fun fact.
Couldn't you see like in an alien civilization, they have like all these Playboy photos up and like model photos of humans, then like they're eating humans.
This place did feel very swanky.
It seems like they tried to make every table like very private because they know at a restaurant of this caliber, the conversations are important and they're secretive. Shortly after we sat down, the waiter began his whole meat presentation. We saw a bunch of other waiters doing this to other tables, so it's just the thing they do. They wheel out this cart full of raw beef and they explain all the different cuts they have. Like it's very intricate. They have dry aged, wet aged, Japanese Wagyu, Midwest Wagyu. But he said anything you get off this menu, know that it's gonna be high quality. The meat is gonna be marbled in such a way that has a superior taste.
Dry aged means that they put it in a cage for 30 days to let it just like drip and stuff. And somehow that does something.
Okay, he said all the moisture gets sucked out of the meat and I was thinking, wouldn't that taste so shitty then? But he said somehow that makes the flavors way more intense. I love how he was giving us the fantasy, like he was giving this vibe of like, it's very fancy here, like you guys are fancy people, like, and he even said like, when he was talking about the Japanese Wagyu, he's like, it is very pricey, but he kind of gave a vibe of like, but like everyone here can afford it because this is like the richest place, you know?
He immediately knew we were gonna spend the big bucks because we both ordered a Diet Coke with a lemon. If you weren't aware, when you order a Diet Coke with a lemon, that is letting everyone around you know you're superior to a lot of society.
It's a power move. It's sort of taking up space spiritually.
It's always a thing at these steakhouses. Oh, this is actually a chop house. I don't really know what the difference is, but anyway, they always give you bread. I'm just gonna say it's white bread. It might not be though. No, probably sourdough actually.
Freshly made there, obviously.
Whipped butter.
Oh yeah, the butter was this whipped ball that so easily could carve your knife into.
Honestly, it wasn't even that good. Average, but I still like it.
Yeah, to be honest, I like the brown bread at Cheesecake Factory better, but this was great.
When the waiter first came up to us, he was explaining a few of the daily specials. He said one of the daily specials is lobster bites. Me and Lucas were chitter-chattering, like, should we get that? Because we might as well kind of really have fun.
F it up.
Yeah. Me and Lucas broke a golden rule. When the waiter came back, we said, so those lobster bites you were talking about, what's the price tag on those?
And then he did get a little bit grossed out. He was like, wait, they're the type of people that ask for the price.
And then for the next minute, he did a cover. It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. But I was thinking in my head like, wait, but obviously you're gonna make us pay, so maybe it's not the right time to sing that. He said the lobster bites were $92.
92? That's kind of random.
Yeah, like,
I love like not making it 90, just 92.
Who knows if I'll ever eat here again. Let's just really bust open my credit card tonight.
He did clarify it is a pound of lobster. Like he kind of made it, and it is the lobster tail. So he was kind of being like, that's why it's that much, you know?
When he brought it over, he made it such a moment.
You see the deep fat fried lobster in the lobster tail. My first thought, I'm not gonna lie, was what if they just keep this lobster tail and then these are Costco lobster bites? But I was like, no, this is actually from the lobster. This is from this lobster tail, you know what I mean? I took a bite out of it and it tasted so good. Like, but you can deep fry anything and it tastes good. So this could have literally been a chicken nugget.
They just seasoned it with these seasonings that really took it to another level.
You couldn't even taste the lobster, which I liked.
Yeah, all I tasted was like, I was about to say like chicken seasoning, but it wasn't chicken seasoning, but it was like a variation of chicken seasoning, but for seafood, like seafood seasoning.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
There was even some bites where I just had it straight raw, no dipping sauce. It was that good.
Lobster! We really are starting this fancy restaurant with a bang.
And the waiter did tell us that they have a lot of things flown in. I guess maybe this lobster was flown in from like Egypt.
People always make it seem like it's gross to eat seafood in the Midwest because they're like, you're not by any oceans, but it's like every day it's flown in on a private jet. So it's just like being on the coast.
There wasn't like that much of a difference between a lobster bite and a chicken nugget you put in the oven. It was just fun to try.
And we gotta take our little Facebook photos with the shell.
After eating a lot of greasy lobster, it was time to go to the men's restroom. I don't even know what the word is to describe how I felt, but why is there ice in the urinals? I thought it was kind of cool though because I peed on it and I could see little ice melting and it's fun peeing on ice. Maybe that's the only reason they put it there.
Yeah, I didn't even question it because this is the most expensive restaurant. So I just figured, okay, this is what rich people do.
Then they have like mouthwash, I think even floss picks. This bathroom wasn't icky. It was more of a We just really wanted to have like a 3-hour dinner, so they had like a whole part of the menu for soups and salad. I got the tomato and onion salad.
I decided on the iceberg wedge salad, drizzled in blue cheese dressing. It had bacon lardons, just literally bacon lard, which sounds gross, but it tasted really good. Like, add bacon fat to your next salad.
The presentation of my salad is something I've never seen before. It felt very unfamiliar to me, but I was excited to dig in. I am just a total fan of tomatoes, especially a juicy tomato, and this is what these were. And then they had heart of palms, which is that just an artichoke?
Something like that.
It tasted like an artichoke to me, and under all of that was actually like green leafy greens. Leafy greens. And the best thing about the salad was blue cheese, and I was adoring my salad. But then I looked over at Lucas, and Lucas's salad, honestly, the best salad ever. I've only had a few of those iceberg wedge salads, but whenever I have one, it's a firework in my brain. It's undescribable.
I thought since this was a bougie type place, they were gonna put a little bit of dressing. Cause you know that's kind of like, it seems like a rich person thing saying, I don't want that much dressing, but they doused it. Like, it literally felt like you went to the buffet and just, like, you drowned it in the dressing. So every bite was just so much blue cheese dressing, and it made me realize that blue cheese gives you like a bad breath taste, but in a good way. But you know, like that classic like bad breath, like blue cheese is like the classic bad breath type food.
But it just tastes so good.
I know,
like,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it makes you think like maybe you want to make out with someone with bad breath, because I just like blue cheese.
Oh yeah. Like, maybe it'd actually, be good if someone's mouth just reeked blue cheese onion mouth.
I know. Totally letting the setting go into my soul, because we were around apparently the most rich people in Nebraska. So I was just letting that soak into my soul. But then I had enough soaking in my soul. I was like, okay, it's cool that this is the most expensive restaurant, but after a while, like, it kind of loses its sparkle. So they have a little notepad at the table. Let's play tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, I wonder why they had that there.
For business meetings.
Oh, I forgot everyone does business here. So you'd be writing down the figures and timesing them by 10 and stuff and saying that's your like equity in the business, and it makes sense now they have a notepad.
I did win tic-tac-toe, and I did one of those things where no matter what Lucas did, I would win.
I know, so I'm confused. I actually realized for the tactic Jacob did, the only way I could have beat it is if I started in the middle. Like, you literally, no matter what, you would have won.
Yeah. There's this thing called like Omaha steaks. It's like everywhere. Like,
oh yeah, just Nebraska in general is like the steak state. The waiter made it seem like this whole place is about steak, so we had to try the steak. Steak!
I don't know that much about steak, so he kind of just said, which one should we mess around with? And he recommended this dry-aged porterhouse.
Yeah, it seemed like the dry-aged cuts were like the most iconic.
This costed $139. Why is everything at this restaurant priced the most weird numbers? Is there a reason behind that? Why is it $139? Why isn't it just $140?
I feel like the owner has like a psychic come in or like an astrologer and they pick certain numbers.
It must be, because that's so odd to me.
Yeah, somehow like it hypnotizes you to spend more seeing all these numbers.
I didn't know this, but a porterhouse steak is actually 2 steaks in one. It's like a T-bone where one side's a New York strip and the other side's like a tenderloin.
Like, what part of the cow is that creates that T-bone? Like, I just want to visualize, like, where are we eating? He did say this is the perfect one to share. He kind of was like, I thought they were rich, but when he recommended us sharing stuff, it kind of gave the vibe of like, he didn't think we were cool anymore, you know?
When you think about it, these steak restaurants are the biggest rip-offs because you order a main and it doesn't even come with any sides. Like, you have to order sides for extra.
I know, they really get ya.
Yeah, so we got a family portion of mac and cheese and then a family portion of broccolini. We were kind of discussing, like, is broccolini another type of broccoli? I'm not even trying to be a dumbass.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So broccoli is a family. This is like stereotypical. Broccoli is like sister.
They get the seed and like do like a little twist and like it makes broccolini.
I think that's how it works. We ordered the steak to be medium rare, which on the menu, I think it says if you order it to be medium rare, the middle's gonna be cold.
This is the most rare steak I've ever had in my life. Like, I feel like usually when you ask for medium rare, they don't fully do it, but I love how they didn't cap at all.
This is steak tartare at a certain point.
I know, like, we were literally eating raw beef. I loved it.
That's just funny.
I know.
Yes, at first it did kind of gross me out, but then I was thinking like, okay, this is like the best beef in the US, I guess, so I actually ended up liking it. Yeah.
And since this restaurant was so fancy, the waiter really wanted to make sure we loved our food. Like, he asked multiple times, like, is it done to your liking? He said, like, is that what you wanted? Like, I feel like if we wanted to, he could have said, like, we want a little bit more cooking, or like, he seemed like he really just wanted to make sure we were completely satisfied.
I just thought about this. I was actually in a state of awe and amazement that they cut it for us. Like, I've never been to somewhere where they cut it for you. That actually made me so excited because I hate cutting shit.
I know, it's just those little stresses in your life that if they're eliminated, they actually enhance your life so much. So tender. You can literally just bite straight into the flesh. Uncooked like a caveman. I loved it.
After a while, it seemed like our waiter kind of understood, like, oh, you guys don't really wanna, like, have a, like, actually wanna, you know, I don't know how.
Yeah, he probably was just like, every time I go to their table, I feel uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna take the sign and not go anymore that much. The mac and cheese was on another level. I don't know what type of cheese they included, but it's this one type of cheese that, like foot cheese.
Yeah, to me, it reminded me of Parmesan cheese. I think it's Romano cheese. They also taste like Romano cheese.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
It was a tummy ache mac.
I know, like, you could tell if we ate half each of that, like, you would be in pain. Even the broccolini was so good. Like, I don't know if it literally was just olive oil with pepper or something, but it just hit.
We finished that plate of broccolini because you just had to. It felt like I just picked a tree out of the ground and was just munching on it.
Oh yeah, you're like a giant going through a city eating trees.
I do have to be genuine. After a while of filming us eating this steak, I got a surge of stress in my bones because I was like, wait, I'm turning into a steak person. I don't even want to put this on the internet. I just know that unfortunately when you do something, people put you in a box. So I feel like me hosting this video is gonna make everyone think of me as a steak person, and I never can get out of that box. I know it.
They'll always have that belief about you. About both of us. I don't know what was in this food, but right away, I think maybe I just ate too much bread, the salad, the deep fried lobster, but I just got so full so fast. Like, I swear, one bite of the macaroni and I just felt full. And then like, I was trying to force myself to eat more steak, and sort of like you, I started getting grossed out, not by the food, but just about like, I kind of was embarrassed of myself being like, why did I get gaslit into this? Like, I don't even really like steak that much. And I've always wondered, why are steak restaurants the most expensive? I don't even enjoy steak that much, but I gave into the gaslighting of society, and like, I was just like, I was just confused.
No matter how much money I have, steak isn't that good. Like, I would way rather go to a burrito restaurant where the burritos are like $9. And I would love that way more than spending like literally $200 on a steak. When this food came to our table, I was thinking in my head, we aren't even gonna touch any of this, I know it. 30 minutes went by. Yes, we did do a few breaks, because when you're eating this much steak, you need to take breaks. You just need to, that's part of the steak life. I looked at the plate and I was like, wait, kind of all gone. How did we do this? It just made me realize, like, I thought I would just have 2 slices of this beef. Is there like a magician in the corner that's doing a spell on me, making me eat more beef? I'm not even joking when I say that I feel proud of us that we did that.
I know, like you said, I was worried we weren't gonna eat it, and the waiter was gonna be like, what? Why didn't you guys eat anything? But we actually did it. We did it.
I've never had this much toxic masculinity in my bones. After this, I think I have like 12 TikTok drafts. It was just me saying like, guys, if you're a man, you need to stand up to these people, and you need to marry a female, have kids with them, have them stay at home, and you need to support that female, and men are meant to conquer the world. It was crazy, the feelings that I felt. I don't feel them anymore, but steak does that to you.
I know that the testosterone was so high.
And the waiter came to our table and was like, congratulations, guys, you finished it. You guys are wonderful people. And he said, do you guys want a box? And we said, yeah, because we had a little bit of mac and cheese left. And he said, do you also want a box for the bone? And I was glad he asked that, because I wanted to take this bone home. I don't know why I did, but I wanted to.
You know, he read your mind.
It's actually quite funny how me and Lucas were going on and on about, I don't want to go to a restaurant again. I saw him so full. But we still asked for the dessert menu.
Yeah, I realized I actually wasn't full. I was just done with that type of food. But I still had plenty of room for some sweets.
We chose the creme brulee. It just sounds like something Sharpay Evans would order in High School Musical.
That's weird that you thought of High School Musical, because they mention creme brulee in the Stick to the Status Quo.
They do?
The guy who comes out as a baker. I think he says, I whip up creme brulee and all this stuff. Like, that's why your mind went to that.
They put like whatever the bottom stuff is, and then they put a fire torch to it. Like, they put sugar on top, and then is it crunchy because they put a fire torch to it?
Yeah, it had to have been. Wait.
That's sick.
I kind of wish they would have done it at the table, though.
They do get a few points off for that.
Yeah, I feel like they should bring the creme brulee and then get a torch. Couldn't you see that starting a fire and people sue you? It was great. Like, I don't even know what it is. Like, is it just whipped cream, low-key?
I asked so many times, Lucas, what even is this? It's like a thicker whipped cream. I feel like it's made from eggs is my assumption.
Isn't the top layer, it's just like, I was gonna say hard candy, but it isn't. Like, what even is that? It's good,
just
though.
sugar with fire on top of it.
It actually hurt my throat a few times eating it. It's like you get like these shards.
Kind of like eating glass.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I realized about myself, if you're with me when I'm really enjoying life, I'm gonna be repeating the same sentence over and over, because when I was really enjoying this, I repeated probably 60 times. This is my favorite dessert ever. It's better than even ice cream.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice you repeated it.
No, I'm not even joking. I for sure said at least 5 times.
Oh yes, I feel like if both people are equally in the moment, like, it doesn't annoy anyone.
Me personally, I was in a state of confusion because I was like, wait, I ate half of this big steak, a few of the sides, a salad, bread, half of this dessert. Did I eat up to like 2,000 calories? But how do I still feel normal? I wasn't on Lucas's level. I was just in this vibe of, I think I'm actually just a pig, and
I felt so gross. I was excited to eat the dessert. That's like gross of me that I felt gross, but I still ate half a dessert. But still, I still was in the vibe of like, I literally never want to go to a restaurant again.
Steakhouses are the restaurants where you're gonna feel the most full. That's fact.
I remember I heard somebody once on a podcast say that every time they go to a steakhouse, they throw up that night. I think they turn everyone into just binge eaters.
Ew. Yeah, I was in a state of wow. I was actually mad at everyone there. No one told me it was gonna be this expensive.
I know, I was so happy I wasn't paying.
It came to $347. Once I tipped, it came to like 400 something, so it was like $200 each. I would honestly say we lived fully. We didn't take any shortcuts.
Yeah, weren't we there for like 2.5 hours?
Yeah, basically 3 hours.
If you think about it like that, that's like less than $100 an hour per person, so like, it ends up being a deal actually.
Yeah, you get a deal. I'm joking. We ended the night using the toothpicks, and they actually were mint flavored, which is cool. I've never experienced that.
We had the big to-go bag, and it was, when we walked out, we both were in this vibe of not anxiety, but I remember just thinking like, I feel so weird. I remember just thinking like, why are we in the world right now? Like and you mentioned you felt like when you were in The Sims, like something about being in that steak restaurant for 2.5 hours, then going out into broad daylight, it did something where like, I was like, am I on like a hallucinogen?
We got so immersed in this restaurant that when we left, it felt weird going back to reality. Oh, it was good, it was good, it was good, it was good. But we might never go back because it was really expensive. But I'm glad we got to experience it. Yeah, Nebraska, Nebraska, the good life.